Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. And I wanted to start by just noting that this year will be my 17th year on YouTube. I may have been on earlier than that, but I may not have had a Gmail account at the time. Um, I'm a latecomer when it comes to like all the more popular stuff. Back when Gmail was invite only, I kind of didn't see the point of acquiring a Gmail account. I mean, I already had my Hotmail, I had my Yahoo, and things like that. So it's just like Gmail was just something that I'm like, now you look where your Gmail account gets you today, right? But anyway, this is going to be my official 17th year on YouTube as of March 2nd, 2008. That is when I made my first YouTube video. And I wanted to celebrate this 17th year anniversary by doing a self reaction thing kind of thing. Um, Only because, I mean, now that I'm digging into the archives of my previous digital life, I mean, it's almost 20 years now. So now that I'm like, 43 and own business, software engineer, senior software engineer now, AI and machine learning, like I'm all these things now, but it's just going to be fascinating to see what I was like almost 20 years ago. The environment was different back then. The landscape, the job market, gas prices, what my thoughts and beliefs were. I'm pretty sure my ideas were radically different back then. But anyway, I don't want to take up too much time just going on and on. I'm really curious to see because you have to understand, like, I haven't gone back and watched these videos and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm live. Let's just do a rewatch. I'm just gonna do the rewatch with you guys here live because I think like you can't really. I think that if I'm gonna be a content creator and I'm gonna watch something like in real time um, with an audience. Whether it's, I mean, this is recorded, but I'm gonna watch it in real time. I mean, I think that's what kind of people deserve these days. Just a live kind of feedback. Anyway, let me go ahead and get things started. And let's see. I am sharing my screen right now. So let's go ahead and start this video. I believe, I'm hoping you should be able to see uh, everything. Let's see. Let me stop this. Okay. You'll have to bear with me. Uh, aha. Oh, A View of Fear in Politics by Easton Morgan, which is my name.
Hello, my name is Easton, and these are pretty exciting times for our political campaign. I support Barack Obama. I have my own reasons for doing so. First of all, he's not ruling or running on a campaign of fear. He's not trying to do that. That's not his agenda. It's not his objective. I'm supporting Barack Obama because he represents something bigger than just my own state, which is Texas. He represents something bigger than America as a nation itself. I think he represents a change in politics and all over the world. And the reason I did kind of towards lean Hillary until I started watching the debates when I saw all the debates, I made up my mind that Barack Obama was the best choice because when it came time for judgment, he made the right decisions. He made the right calls. He is a person who speaks to me and makes me believe for the first time in a long time in politics, and that change can happen for a better reason, a better cause, and not just for myself, not just for my family, my friends, or the state or the American people, but for the whole wide world. If he's able to work from the ground up and get his hands dirty and work with people in his home state, his home city, to his home state, to the United States, think what else he can do. He can probably, if he's able to bring together a country that has been torn apart by so many diverse things, racism, prejudicism, things that make us turn on each other, to bring us together as a country, think of what he can do for the entire world. Now, you can criticize and be cynical all you want and downplay what is probably the most important historical event that America and this world has ever seen, if you want to. But there are many of us, very many of us, who believe in that change and who want it and who thirst for it. And this is the first time in a long time that I myself am able to believe in that change in a candidate for the presidency. And I believe he is not one to play on your fears. Fears are something that most Republicans play on. They want you afraid not to vote for them, only because they feel as if they can protect you better. And that's something that's not right for me. I don't want to be afraid to vote for someone. I want to be hopeful and cheerful when I cast my vote. I want to cast my vote basically because I believe in something, not because I'm afraid of it. And that's what Barack Obama stands for to me. More than that, if he's able to get elected, think of it's bigger. It's much bigger than the United States. It's bigger than that. The whole world is probably watching right now, and I'm pretty sure there are Barack Obama supporters all over the world. Not because he's a person of color, but because he's a person of character, and also maturity. I thought that person was Hillary Clinton, but during the debates, you can see that it is not. Barack Obama isn't afraid to concede a good point and to say, you know what, Hillary, you've made a good point. He's not afraid to do that. A mature person can listen as well as talk. And those are very important skills when you're the president of the United States. Don't be afraid to talk to other countries. For the longest time, we've been the nation of shoot first and ask questions later, then talk. That's not how it's supposed to work. Not at all. You're supposed to be able to talk through your problems, not fight your way through them or kill your way through them. That's not how anything gets done. And I believe my candidate, Barack Obama, is best suited for this position, which is the highest position that any person can hold as president of the United States, because he represents that. He represents going to meet people instead of going to kill them. And I believe the whole world's watching this. Maybe they don't have access to CNN or Fox News or MSNBC, but they sure as hell have access to the internet, the World Wide Web. And they can watch the debates on YouTube, and they can see who's the best presidential candidate here in America. It's weird because our attention is focused on us, which is pretty narcissistic. We've kind of taken our eye off the world. We don't know what's going on in Colombia, Brazil, or Africa, or we've kind of taken our eye off the ball. But it's weird because on the flip side, the whole world, I believe the whole world is paying attention to us in this most crucial moment. And I believe what they want is a president who's going to reach out and work with other nations rather than rush to kill them and change their ideas through bullets. You can't change ideas through bullets. Now, a point on terrorism. The misconception of terrorism is that it is a person. A terrorist is a person that you kill, and that if you kill enough of them, there will be no terrorists left. That's not true. Terrorism is an actual idea, and ideas are something that you can't kill. You can't kill an idea. Any American citizen can become a terrorist at any time, at any day of the week by changing their ideas. What Barack can do is change that idea, change the state of mind. If you think about it, peace doesn't come with bullets. It's not after the dust has settled down. You don't need it. You don't need the war. Peace can happen during a war when both parties stop shooting and they start talking. When they can put aside their differences and talk. They can agree or they can disagree, but there's no fighting, no bloodshed. That's important in a president of the United States. When Hillary Clinton says that a presidential visit must be earned and we shouldn't be meeting everybody, we shouldn't be going around meeting everybody, that hurts. That's like saying, we're not going to meet you. You're a waste of time. You don't matter unless you do what we want you to do. And Barack is saying, I will meet with our enemies and our friends, and we will talk, and we will work our problems out together. And that's how peace is attained, by working your problems out together through talking, not through fighting. Two people can fight to the death, but it's not going to solve anything. The problem doesn't go away. The problems go away when we work together to come to a positive resolution. Not only does that make us look good as a country, but it makes the world look good as an entire planet, as a human society. A lot of people like to put labels on people, and these are mostly politicians, gays, lesbians, blacks, whites, things like that. These are labels that are made to separate us and to be afraid of each other. I know that in many different cultures and in different nations that are not our own, that they want the same thing. Even terrorists. Terrorists, or quote unquote terrorists, are, first of all, they're people that we're fighting. We're not fighting things over there. These are people who have families, people who have a belief system, people who bleed the same color that you and I do when they're cut. And the idea are radical. The ideas are radical. They're violent, but there's nothing saying that they can't be changed. If two people can stop fighting and start talking, things change for the better for everyone. Not to say that I'm unpatriotic. There are some people who just won't change no matter how much talking that you do. And violence should be the last resort, not the first. The first is talking. Talk your problems out. You'll find out. A lot of people think that they're different from the Middle Eastern people, different from the Chinese, different from the Japanese, different from the Africans, different from the Colombians, different from Mexico and Canada. How are you different? All of you, all of us, me, you, everyone else, all of us want to be able to, all of us love our families. All of us love our brothers and sisters and neighbors and want to be able to walk down the street and not be afraid of another citizen. All of us want this. Not just me, not just America, but all of us. I think the whole world wants that. What country wouldn't want to walk down the street and feel safe in their own homes, in their own environments, and they can take a trip abroad and be welcomed instead of shunned, and instead of looked at with judgment and things like that.
Okay. That was cool. Man, I was like such an idealist back then, man. I had like hopes and dreams and like uh aspirations, and reality hadn't hit yet, you know. Let me okay, so there's three parts to this fear in politics. So that's the first part. Let's go through part two and see what I said then. I think back then in YouTube. Okay, so I think back in YouTube. Let me confirm this. So back then, I believe YouTube had a 10-minute limitation. Your videos, the max you have is 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 2008. The longest video anyone can ever make is 10 minutes. 10 minutes is it. So if you want to make your point longer than 10 minutes, you have to make your first video, stop recording, and then continue recording. Make sure you remember where you kind of left off in your point or diatribe or whatever it was, and then keep recording for how many parts. So this has three parts. So that was the first part. Let me go ahead and see if I can load up the second part for you. Just a second. Whoop! There it is. Okay, so I need to stop sharing that screen, and then I'm going to share my screen again. And we are going for part two. And there it is. There I am. And let's go ahead and, oh, I think I'm wearing something different. Um, Am I wearing something different? Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, let's continue.
I don't know a single person out there who wouldn't want to be embraced by everyone and be hated. I want to be hated. I want to be different. I want to be individual. I don't want everybody's love. I just want the love of the people that I'm close to. No, no. I think that's really bogus. I think that uh, if we embrace each other, if we can embrace each other, that's one step toward world peace. If people can stop fighting and start talking, that's how peace is obtained. It isn't obtained through war or guns or bullets. It's obtained through talking, through hope and understanding and patience. Um, if you think about it, most people are afraid of things that they don't know or understand. Most whites are afraid of blacks. Most um, heterosexuals are afraid of gays because they don't understand each other. But if you take a look at two people who were once fighting each other, gays or straights or whatever, and if they talk to each other and get to know one another, they may not agree on their beliefs or sexual orientation, but they're no longer afraid of each other. If they're no longer afraid of each other, then there's no chance of violence. If I know you because I've talked to you and I'm comfortable with you, and even though we don't agree on sexual orientation, we can agree to disagree, but I still know you. And if I know you, I'm not afraid of you. If I'm not afraid of you, I'm not afraid to talk to you. That's how peace is obtained. Coexisting with people, even though we don't always see eye to eye. That's how peace is obtained. That's what I believe Barack Obama stands for. You don't have to agree with every nation. You don't have to agree with every religion. You don't even have to agree with gays or lesbians. But you can at least respect them enough to talk to them and understand them so you no longer fear them. And if you no longer fear them, then you no longer hate them. I believe gays and lesbians have been getting a really bad rap. I mean, especially by religious fanatics who believe in the Bible. And I'm sorry, but the Bible was written by man. I mean, what, man can't lie? We've been lying since we were able to speak. But the problem is that the thing I find most disturbing is that a religious person believes it is wrong to actually love another person, and that's just wrong. It's just, I don't even know what to say. I'm just appalled by it. whenever you say that it's wrong to love another person that is different than how you love another person, you're wrong. It is wrong to love another person just because the the way they go about doing it is different from your own. I mean, this is crazy. It's not sane at all. Whenever you say that it is wrong for one man to love another in a way that you wouldn't love another man, you are wrong. You are dead wrong. It is wrong to love one person just because it's not the way that you would go about doing things. It is wrong. It is wrong to judge people based on that. And I mean, really, it's just a lack of education and it's a lack of understanding because of fear, because they don't know, because they're not in those shoes. They're not walking those shoes. Gay people have every right to get married, to love one another as heterosexuals do. I mean, how would you like it if gays just all of a sudden overtook the country and said it's wrong to be heterosexual? I don't care what book you believe in, you know that's wrong. And in this instance, but this is the reverse. It is wrong. It is wrong to judge people and to shun them because they can love someone else that's not your own way. It's not your own idea. It's an idea. But love is never a bad idea. It's a good idea. And meeting people and having conversations with them to understand them and to come to an agreement with them and to be civil with them instead of fighting them is a good idea. It's never a good idea to just say, I'm American, I'm patriotic. That means we're the number one country in the world. We don't need to be the number one country in the world. We need to be a country in the world. And this country is very narcissistic. And for a very long time, that's how it's presented itself. The number one superpower. We can't let anyone else have a superpower, become a superpower, because it makes us look weak. And that is wrong. It's completely bogus. It is not weak to value human life. It is not weak to want to work out your differences rather than crush an opponent. Killing everybody is not the answer. It's not how a religious fanatic is going to get into heaven. I mean, you would be no different than a suicide bomber who kills for his belief. People who think that it is wrong to, embrace, an enemy. What enemy? These are people we're talking about. People, just like you and me, who love the same, who have the same fears, who want the same thing. Most people don't know that they have more in common with Middle Eastern and other cultures than they think. We all wake up in the morning. We all go to bed at night. We all love our children. We all love our families. We all want the best for everyone. We all want to get along. There's different ideas of ways about doing that and getting there, but one of them is not by killing. Killing won't change the idea. Talking, understanding, compromising, getting familiar with another culture, knowing that there's a difference and respecting that difference is how we're going to make peace happen. It's how the world's going to become a better place. When, you have your neighborhoods that's a gated community, you have your communities that are poor and run into the ground, and you try to separate this difference between a good person and a bad person. Know that these are people you're talking about, not things. You have illegal immigrants, just another label. You have gays and lesbians, just another label. Just another label to divide us and to make us afraid of each other. That is wrong. What you want to do is understand them, talk to them, get to know them, get familiar with them, so that they are a familiar face to you that you're no longer afraid of. And when you're no longer afraid of anything, you're free of fear. You're open to respect and honor and get along better as a society and as a country and as a world. If I had it my way, I would change a lot of things. I would talk to every person I knew. I mean, I should never when did we become afraid to talk to other people? When have we become a society that says we should not be talking to other countries? Talking. to people. We're talking to people. We're talking about people here. Us, the human race. You know, you have your
on a roll there. Oh my god. Shit. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Wow. Uh, that's I don't disagree just yet. I'm just I'm gonna actually make these things public right after we're done here. Well, I'm gonna do it after. I'll do it while I load up this next video too. I'm gonna. These videos are private. They're marked private, you know, obviously for a good reason. I mean, I mean, I'm not. I was the my channel. I don't know. Back then, YouTube was a different thing. I mean, I used it for a different purpose. I mean, but let me load up the thing. I'm gonna make these videos public, and I want you guys to have access to them. All my old videos, every video I've ever made is going to be out there. Um, uh, so you guys can watch it on your own time and not have to go through, you know, maybe however long this video is going to be, like an hour or something. But this is just me celebrating and me getting uh, uh, through the very first few videos that I made. This is the very first video. This was during the election of Barack Obama, the first election in 2007 or something like that. Well, this is 2008. This was actually made in 2008. So this is 17 years now. As of March 2nd, my channel is now 17 years old. So let me go ahead and share this video and let us go ahead and continue. I was really, damn. Okay, here we go.
disabled people. You have your so-called mentally challenged people, or things like that. It's just another labels. They're still people. We are the people. I mean, the Constitution began with we the people, not we the straights, not we the whites, not we the blacks, not we the men. It's we the people. I mean, we've lost sight of that a long time ago, and Barack Obama is bringing this forth. He's bringing a new era in humanity, and I'm really excited about it. For the first time in my life, my entire adult life, I'm proud of a candidate who speaks for change from the bottom up because of people, not because of these labels and these politicians, you know, saying that I'll keep you safe and this. I don't want that. I can keep myself safe. I don't need your help to keep me safe. I don't need you tapping my phone to keep me safe. I need you talking to other people, getting familiar with other people so that I'm not afraid of them. I know them. I'm familiar with them. Even though we don't see eye to eye, he's not afraid of me and I'm not afraid of him. Security is for me. I've made mistakes along the way in my life. I know that. But I'm not doomed to repeat those same mistakes because I know I made those mistakes. I didn't say that. I'm not using anything, any excuses. My choices are my choices, and I need to hold myself accountable for them. Presidential candidates need to do the same thing. Hold yourself accountable, apologize, make amends, and move on. That's how you mature. That's how mature people think and act. Not be stubborn, not turn the question around and flip it and go negative and say, well, he did this, and this, and this. No. I did this. I made these mistakes. And I've learned from these mistakes, which makes me a better person to run the country because I'm not doomed to repeat any of these silly mistakes. I'm willing to learn from those mistakes and mature and be a better person because of them. So, in conclusion, I'm supporting Barack Obama not because he's better for America, but I believe he's better for the world. And if the world is watching, they're paying attention to these debates. They're paying attention to how we vote. They're paying attention of who we want running the country, not based on gender, sex, religion. I mean, I've looked at Hillary, and the despicableness of what she's running on is by gender. She did vote for the NAFTA trade agreements that had jobs left the country. She did vote for the war in Iraq. She did. She knows she did. The problem is she's not mature enough to admit that she made a mistake. And that's what changed my vote from Hillary to Obama. Straight off. If you're not man or woman enough to admit your own mistakes, then you're doomed to repeat them. And if you're doomed to repeat them, you're not good for, you're not a very mature adult. And I can't, and I wouldn't have that running my country. I wouldn't have a person who believes that they are in the right and that they are infallible. No one's infallible. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you deal with them and come to terms with them and what you learn from them that makes you a better person than what you were yesterday. And that's what I'm voting for. I wish everyone can come together and vote for Barack Obama because he represents that. And you've seen that. You've seen Barack Obama not wanting to go negative. You've seen him say, hey, Hillary, you've made good points. Hillary, you've had a pretty good voting record, so have I. I don't want to degrade Hillary's voting record. She's had a good record. If you can concede that someone else had better points than you, had better ideas than you are more likely to listen to the good advice that people have. You're more likely to succeed as a better person, a mature person, and say, you know what, my idea, it's good, but yours is better. Let's use your better idea. That's how mature people think. They think with intelligence. They think with this dynamic idea that if something's bad or something's not as good, you need to change that idea. Working together will do that. And world peace is not going to happen by itself. We need other countries with us. And Barack Obama is a uniter. He's brought people and parties together. That's what this whole thing's about. That's what world peace is about. Coming together as a planet, as humans, as humanity. We can show everyone that we're together in this and that we all want the same things. We can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need other people there. You need people behind you. You need friends. You need neighbors. You need strangers. But you know what? Strangers only are strangers because you don't talk to them. If you talk to them, they're no longer strangers. They're familiars. Familiar people that you know. And familiar people that you know are less likely to attack you than people that you don't know. And that's the message that I believe Barack Obama poses when he's president of the United States. I really do hope he's president of the United States because a country needs a huge change right now. From the direction of war-minded people to a people of hope and prosperity and being united as a country. If he can bring this country together, what else can he do for the entire world? A foreign policy based off of war, that's not a policy. That's war. It's killing people. It's people killing people. People killing people doesn't solve anything. It makes matters worse. Two people, an Iraqi and a military person. What happens if they start shooting each other? One American kills an Iraqi's family hears the news, they get outraged. That's a perfect recruiting tool for more Iraqis or for more Middle Eastern people to attack us. Evil begets evil. Think if they stopped firing at each other and they had a discussion. Both of them have families that they want to support. Both of them have ideas. Maybe they don't share the same ideas, but both of them do have ideas. Both of them have hope for the future. Both of them are fathers and have brothers and sisters who they love very much, which is more in common than anything else I've ever seen. And if they come to that understanding, an Iraqi person who was a hostile goes home and says, I spoke to an American military person, soldier today, and he told me that he had family that he was looking out for, and he was afraid of my people, of me, and things like that. And that when we got to talking, we had some things in common. We both like this. We both want to see our kids do good in school. We both want a better future for our country. We both want the same things. There's a lot of the same things that a lot of people have in common. But the problem is that you don't know these things until you stop shooting at each other. So when you pull out of Iraq, you believe that the extremists are just going to yell, hooray, we won, they're wimpy, America looks weak, whatever. That's completely bogus, okay? Completely bogus. And only someone who plays to your fear will tell you that and believes that, which is completely wrong. When you talk to a person, when you shake their hand and make them from a foe to a friend, that's how world peace will be obtained, by doing such things. And that's what Barack Obama stands for. Thank you.
That was cool. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to but I had a point. I mean, yo, man, it's bogus, man. It's absolutely bogus, okay? It's like bogus. I can't believe. I think back then, I'm going to guess that back then, YouTube had a policy about language. So, where's that bogus? Oh shit! Oh my god! Woo! Um. Hey. I don't disagree with my earlier self. Wow. Okay. Uh, hey. Just gonna. So, okay. The point is to react, right? So, like, yeah, man. Don't let people scare you. Politicians scare you into thinking that they can protect you, man. It's just bogus, right? It's just bogus. But I had a few ideas back then. Uh, man, 17 years. I was like, what, like 2008, like 20 something still, maybe. I don't even think I was 30 yet. Yeah, I was 20 something. I was 20 something, and motherfucker, I knew everything. I knew everything. Yo, man, it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong. Listen, 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 listen. It's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. It's wrong. So, that was the first one. First set of videos. Let's go for the other sets of videos, and let's just see what we got. I'm just gonna. I mean, really, dude. Okay. This is my response. I had a response to Geraldine Ferraro. She had been interviewed on Meet the Press, and Barack Obama was President Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, but President, President Obama. Anyway, when he was still a candidate, um, he was at a rally, and I'm pretty sure the rally's still on YouTube somewhere. And he like brushed his shoulders off. He's like, after the debate, he's like, people talk about you, but you just gotta, and he was doing that thing from Jay-Z's song, Brush Your Shoulders Off. So Geraldine Ferraro was on Meet the Press, and she wasn't too happy. She wasn't too happy about Barack Obama's gesture. And I believe she may have called him like a misogynist or like or anti-woman, like he was very dismissive of her, something along those lines. He was very dismissive of her, and he has no respect for women or something like that, just because of like the after debate, the crowd cheered, his gesture because that's a very famous gesture from Jay-Z's song from back then. So I had a response. Boy, I had 2 cents. I had something to say about it, and we're gonna find out what that was because the video is called um, RE, which is I think response or reply. Ferraro to Obama, don't antagonize me. So let us see just what the hell I had to say. Hang on. I'm writing it and I am share it. And here we are. And there I am. And let's see what I have to say about it.
Hello, this is Easton here. Just reporting from San Antonio, Texas. Just wanted to make a short comment on the recent events of Geraldine Ferraro, in case we've all forgotten, only because we have a new issue with Obama's pastor, Jeremiah Wright. But first, I just wanted to clear up a few things and wanted to share a brief um, opinion and comment of what I believe her comments meant to me. A couple things. One, she was asked why Barack has made it this far. Pretty much, just to sum up what most of you already know, and her answer was because he's black. First answer that came out of her mouth. It wasn't anything that she really gave any thought to. It wasn't let me think. It wasn't anything like that. I thought that a comment, of course, was inappropriate, and I felt great offense to it because if you just remember 4 years ago, it was Al Sharpton that was running for president, and he didn't really get very far. And so I believe that to be totally untrue, and I thought she pretty much just pulled a stupid answer out of her ass. If he were a white man or a woman of any color, he wouldn't be where he is. Sure. Yeah, yeah, like we all believe that. We believe Barack Obama to be stupid, but black. So that's why over 20 states has voted for him already, and he's won so many primaries, most of them in a row. Um, what I believe is that she could have answered that far more intelligently than she did, and it was for a purpose that she's stated that she still believes to this day that her answer was justifiable and obvious. She didn't point out the fact that he's a Harvard educated man and that he was a U.S. senator and that he helped his community and that his speeches are more than inspiring and insightful, but they're positive, and that he can pretty much debate anybody anywhere intellectually and provide answers, and that he is the first candidate that promotes transparency through our government to see where your tax dollars are going at as well as mine. No, no, it wasn't that at all. Mm, it was simply because he was black. Mm, yeah, first answer to come out of someone's mouth. Not very bright. No, I don't care if 90% of black people in Alabama or Mississippi voted for him versus 10% for Hillary Clinton. If you look at the two candidates, if an intellectual person looked at both candidates, if you look all over YouTube and look at the debates on how well he conducts himself during an intellectual debate about the country's problems and about how to solve them versus Hillary's answers, which are basically just, mostly attacks and dodges to make Barack Obama look bad, which he's been doing a horrible job of anyway. Just makes herself look bad. Um, Barack Obama has already filed his tax returns and has made himself transparent, and he's made it publicly well known that we support Barack Obama financially as well as casting our votes. If you look at the debates, Hillary has not done that. I mean, she's taken money from lobbyists. You can find that on YouTube that she states that she's taken money from lobbyists. So who do you trust in that White House? I mean, someone who's taken lobbyist money who basically work for lobbyists, or someone who's taken money from you and works for you? Um, wow, no brainer, right? So, in conclusion, I do think Ms. Ferraro's comments were inappropriate and offensive, and they were racist. You bring up race. Yeah, of course they were racist. I mean, you could have just said, yeah, he's an educated man. He knows what he's talking about. Look at the way he speeches. Look at his rallies. Look at his record. Look at his education. Yeah, this is a very popular guy. This is a guy that a lot of people like to get behind. No, you didn't say that. She didn't say that. She said simply because he was black. If he was white, and goes further to say that if he was white, or if he was a woman of any color, that he wouldn't be where he is today, which is totally untrue and asinine for her to say. And then to go further and to blame Barack Obama's campaign of being racist towards her because she's white. Oh my God. I would like one of you, one American, to just pull a YouTube clip or a video or a speech of any kind of Barack pulling a racist comment or a sexist comment as thus far, calling someone a racist. Please, please, I'm begging you, pull out a comment. You can't do it. I've looked. I've tried. This man knows what he's talking about. He's running solely based on the merits. And the problem is that we're losing his message in all of this garbage. And part of that is the media's fault for making it hot news. Someone else said something, oh my God, let's take this and run it. Now, that's not what we should be focusing on here. We should be focusing on the real issues at hand. The economy, the job market, the Iraq war, things that affect us every day. Gas prices are on the rise again, how to get away from oil companies, things that really matter. But when we get caught up in this BS storm of he said, she said, we lose the message, the American people lose out, and we all once again make the wrong choices based on stupid judgments of what other people say. So just do me a big favor. Forget it. Forget all the BS that comes out on the news. Focus on what's important to you, that matters, what you wake up every day facing. You're still, I don't care what Geraldine Ferraro says or Jeremiah Wright says. Sorry, I just don't. They don't apply to me every day. What they say doesn't make the gas prices go any lower. It doesn't make the jobs any better. It doesn't make the deficit any lower. It does nothing. Nothing. Think for yourselves. Forget what the media has to say about other people's talk, and just focus on the candidates and the issues that face us today. Thank you.
Well said. I don't disagree there. This is a trip. I have to admit, this is a trip. I was I'm gonna say this. I was probably more politically involved and activated back then. Back in 2001, like there was 9/11 that took place, but George W. Bush was in office, so a lot of the responsibility and the burden was kind of on him. But we didn't trust him. Like America regretted putting the country in his hands because this was kind of our first example of an incompetent person at the helm of a country. And while lackeys and businessmen and corruption sieged the White House and the government, lobbyists, things like that. So we needed a change, and Barack Obama back then was running on that change. He was running on an entire government that was more honest and that would work for the American people. And he his administration was by that, right? It was accountable. For the first time, we had a transparent and accountable government, and everyone took it for granted, So let's see. There are some other videos. This was 3 days later after politics. There's this YouTuber. Um, I'm going to say his name because I responded to him. It's in the title of the YouTube video is response to Scott Roberts. I'm guessing that Scott Roberts was probably a voter back then who wanted to vote for maybe John McCain, or I think Scott Roberts was a white nationalist, and we were having a debate about white nationalism or what have you. So I think it was a response to that. So I may have watched one of his videos, and I think I had a response to him personally. So let me go through and set that up. I mean, these videos are so old. So I think that why I kept them private for so long was because it's like they weren't really relevant. I mean, like why do you even I don't even see a desire to see something so old. These ideas are so old and outdated. Um, but now that it's 2025, I mean, I had all these videos, just sat on them for a long time. I had a bunch of theories that I just read not even a few weeks ago, but those were 20 years old. So there's a lot of things about the there's a lot of creative things that I've done, and the time came and it went, but I just locked them up in a vault, and I'm like, no one wants to see it. I mean, I wasn't a big YouTube star or anything. I mean, I'm still not, but I guess now that now that this channel is like 17 years old, it's and it has a bunch of videos that are just sitting in private status. I guess it belongs to you guys now. I can't really sit on these in private because that would be defeat the purpose of me making the video in the first place. I made the video in the first place for it to go public and for people to know who I was back then. But I think there was this thing was I think I know why I made them private. I made them private probably because all my answers were liberal or left leaning or what have you. And when I was looking for work and for jobs, there were some things about content creation that probably prevented me from getting hired. So I took myself out of social media and I made all of my videos private, and I just had a channel there that was just there for the longest time, and then I can just go ahead and apply for jobs and work at companies, and no one had anything on me. But even now, now everything's so open, and people have said so many worse things than I have. So now it's just kind of like all these videos. It's like, yeah, now that I'm watching them, I'm like, dude, they weren't so bad. They weren't that bad. 2008 compared to what people are saying on YouTube, right now. Okay, mine's a little weakling compared to, and then back then there were 10 minutes. The max time you had were 10 minutes. So most of these videos are 9 minutes, 40 seconds, 10 minutes, and 35 seconds, stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm going to unlock these videos now. But 17 years. I'm celebrating 17 years, and this is how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna watch all of my earlier stuff, and then I'm gonna release them and make them public, and then you can watch them on your own time. But this is how we're gonna do it. This is Thursday, March 13th, 2025. My first video was March 2nd, I believe, 2008. So we are in March. We are on the year of the anniversary. Let's keep going. All right. Roberts. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at this introduction thing. So back then in YouTube, before the video starts, you can type in the introduction of something and then it fades in. They had a helper thing So I guess I was kind of big on that back then. So this is my little intro thing, and then it goes into the thing. So let's go.
Hello. Um, my name is E. That's what they call me around here. And I've been listening to your interpretation of Barack Obama's book, The Audacity of Hope, and I only saw it just fit to respond justly and educated, you know, well informed from an African American point of view, since obviously you aren't African American. Um, I only saw it fit that you deserved the best, well educated, inside answer that money can buy. I listened to your whole, rigmarole about, how Obama's somehow racist or a separatist or whatever it is you thought. Not much water to that. I hope you don't mind. I took some notes. I listened very carefully, listened over and over again. I wanted to get this right. I don't want you to be misquoted in any way. That would be unfair. So, one of the excerpts that you wrote, or that you, cited, because I don't have his book just yet. I'm supposed to get that next week. My mom's supposed to send that to me. One of the things that you said was that he stopped advertising that that he's white when he found himself trying to aggregate or become part of a race that really wasn't his. Pretty much is what you were talking about there. Pretty much, he didn't write off the fact that he was white. But the reason why he wrote what he wrote there, you do remember the quote, you do have the book. The reason why he wrote what he wrote there was that when he probably realized that white people wouldn't accept him because he's not 100% white, he stopped advertising it. He stopped advertising his mother's race, that, hey, I'm white, I'm white. Obviously, when puberty starts to take over and your body starts to change, as you can see, presidential candidate Barack Obama is not white. I think anybody can see that. I'm pretty sure if you were to walk into a white church or a bank or a police station or any other place, he wouldn't really be welcomed with open arms, would he? I really don't think so. So it really wouldn't make sense for him to advertise that, hey, I'm white, when clearly his skin color advertises the opposite. So it wouldn't make sense to say, I'm white, and I look like this. I'm mixed myself. I'm actually Jamaican and Hispanic as well. Even though I don't have an accent or anything like that. That belongs to my dad. My dad has a thick Jamaican accent. But I understand where he's coming from. If you had any insight to Black culture, Puerto Ricans and Blacks, Hispanics and Blacks, even whites and Blacks, once you're pretty much Black, even if you're mixed, you're pretty much accepted by the Black culture. The Black culture doesn't seem to exile you from our culture and our race simply because you're mixed or you're half. You just don't really find that, but you do find that in Caucasians and whites. I mean, for obvious reasons. I don't know how many Caucasians will just well, especially these days, you'll find more and more, accept the fact that their children are mixed. They'll accept it, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily like it. With Blacks, it's kind of the opposite. Not all the time. I'm not speaking for everyone. It's just most of the time. You'll find that Black mothers and fathers, they'll be accepting of anyone, any other color, kind of like birds of a feather, flock together. minority. When you say minority, you're speaking of mostly other races that are not white. Therefore, you can kind of find, the sense and the logic in that we tend to stick together. We tend to not exile one another simply because of a different skin tone or a possible genetic mixture of another race. You just really won't find that. It'll be hard to find, but you're gonna have to show that to me. Anyway, on to your next reading of the book. I'm looking at it here, and it says the emotion between races can never be pure. Even love was tarnished by a desire to find in the other some element that was missing in ourselves, whether we sought out our demons or salvation. The other race would always remain that, just that, menacing, alien, and apart. Now, you're taking into context, your comment was that he sounded like a black separatist. Yeah, that doesn't really hold any water. If you know what he was talking about, he was talking about the emotion between races can never be pure. The emotion between races being plural, a plural word, meaning black, meaning white. The emotion between blacks and whites can never be pure. Even love was tarnished by the desire to find in the other, black or white, some element that was missing in ourselves, whether we sought out our demons or our salvation. The other race, black or white, would always remain just that, menacing, alien, and apart, black and white. Basically meaning that no matter what, no matter how much a black person or a white person loved each other, it would always remain just that. A black person would never fully understand what it is to be a white person, and a white person would never fully understand what it is to be a black person. It would always be just that. That's what it means. Races, plural. Not talking about dominance, not talking about me being superior to you, which is what racism really is. It's talking about the fact that they will never understand each other no matter what they feel. No matter if it's love, hate, envy, they'll never know. It's a little schooling on that for you. On to your next quote. Something about him made me wary, a little too sure of himself, maybe and white. Now, you commented on this one sentence as how he viewed all white people. Yet, you just said that he was speaking of an individual. How is it that an individual person that he writes about becomes all white people? You see, that's your comment, not his. You assume that he's talking about one person represents all white people. Mother, father, male, female. Actually, that's not what it says at all. He's speaking of an individual that made him wary, and it was either because he was a little too sure of himself, maybe, and he was white. So there you have it. He was wary of one individual, white person. And speaking of him, it must have been a male. So there was one white guy that he didn't trust, that he felt wasn't trustworthy. Now, this is his personal experience. What I interpreted from it, me being African American and all, was I see it as him being insecure of himself, being black in a white world, pretty much a little too sure of himself. That would indicate or represent a slight ego, almost arrogance. In being white, to him, I guess, kind of made him insecure. Kind of like, hey, you being a little bit arrogant and you being white really doesn't help me trust you. And you know what? I can't really blame him. I've run across people like that. And you get a bad vibe. The color of their skin, no, it shouldn't matter. But this is his experience. This is what he had to struggle with growing up. He is a mixed person. He is half white and half black. So this is what he has to struggle with on a day-to-day basis. So in conclusion,
Ah. In conclusion, oh my god. Right there. Okay. Ah, oh my goodness. There's a part two. There's a part two to this. So hang on. So maybe in conclusion, hang on. It was 3 minutes. So in conclusion, what? Hang on. What was I saying? This is great. Okay, there I am. And here we go. What was I saying? Please, sir, do go on.
You seem to try to paint a candidate who speaks of hope and unity and bringing this country together and trying to overcome challenges that all Americans must face together. And one last point about his church, if I may. Speak of his church, Trinity United Church. Wow. You paint this to be a very, 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 very ugly picture. You read off pretty much. We are a congregation that is unashamedly black. We are an African people and remain true to our native land, the mother continent. We are a congregation with non-negotiable commitment to Africa. And you paint Obama to be that he only has loyalty to the black race. You're pretty much taking the slogan of a church and making it Obama's. You're putting words into his mouth. He never said these words, never came out of his mouth. And his commitment to the mother continent, just never really heard him say it, Funny thing when you try to read something off of a website and then try to put those words into someone's mouth and try to establish their values and beliefs based on a saying of church. Not really fair. It would be just as fair to say, why is it that you wear a hat over your head whenever you do these kind of videos? I mean, are you hiding something? I mean, am I to assume you to be a KKK member or a skinhead just because you wear a hat? I mean, that would kind of be unfair. It would kind of be prejudgmental. That means I know nothing about you, but I'm already making a judgment. Now, to be a racist, here's what racist really means on dictionary.com. You might want to take a look at it. A belief or doctrine that inherent differences among various human races determine cultural or individual achievement, usually involving the idea that one's own race is superior and has the right to rule others. Now, there's been a bunch of campaign speeches. There have been endless talks, and even in his book, there's not one racist thing I've heard him really say. I've never heard him compare his own race superior to another, especially the fact that he's mixed. That would be kind of silly, and I don't see the point or the relevance in you trying to accuse a presidential candidate who is half black and half white. What would he say? I'm black, so I'm superior to whites? Guess what? That's half of who he is. What, I'm white, so I'm superior to black? That's half of who he is. He's not said one racist thing during his entire campaign. So if you need any further education on the audacity of hope and what it means, or what it means to be black, go ahead, post another question. But this time, ask a question. Don't assume, because you make an ass out of yourself.
Wow. You know what? My favorite part about that whole thing was, hang on. Let me just, because you say here, shit. Oh my god. Oh man. I was a little something, wasn't I, back then? like the debate, the wow. Okay, they're both public now, so watch them when you can. Oh my goodness, that's a little passionate. Okay. All right. Oh, racism in America, part 1, 2, and 3. It looks like there was another response to Mr. Roberts. Let's see. There are some other videos, but I am going to pick that up on another video. I don't want this stream to be like 2, 3 hours long. We're gonna keep this at an hour, and then I'm gonna make another video in a few minutes. As soon as I rearrange stuff, and then I'll just keep making videos. Maybe all day today. I'll take an hour and like probably make an hour of me reacting. Celebrating 17 years. But anyway, this has been interesting to say the least. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll see you guys back here in probably about an hour or so. So be cool. Oh man. If you need another education, feel free to come back to the channel. Oh my goodness.